Hey guys, welcome to another video. It's Ray, and I am building a yacht today. I know a lot of people do this or have done this already, and this is something that is super common to do. But I kind of wanted to give it a go. I've never really done something like this. I've always built, actual houses, so I kind of wanted to try something that technically wasn't normally a house, but could be turned into a house, basically. So here I am using the little trick of turning the doors into, or sizing them down and then raising them up. So basically turning them into tools to get rid of that little wall underneath the roof. So what I was going for here was sort of a yacht that kind of extended up out through the front. So you'll see me try to do this. And I was trying to get that look using the roofs in here, and I added a bunch of roofs, and I kind of just used them to my advantage to kind of create that sort of facade and sort of just kind of image of the front of the boat kind of protruding out above the water. And it didn't work out that well, but I tried, and I think it was kind of fun because it was something kind of different than what a lot of builders are doing. So, I did want to definitely try building this sort of boat house, but I wanted to do it kind of in a different way because, it is, I know, boring to see the same things over and over again by different people, but I wanted to kind of make it my own and kind of create it in my own way so that it's a little bit different. So that's what I'm doing here. And it does take me a while to figure out how I'm going to kind of blend that whole thing in, but I do end up just adding a ton of roofs, and it does look a little bit messy, and it doesn't match the wallpaper super well. You'll see that it starts to kind of look darker, but I do kind of put I raise a window up in there, and I try to cover it up as much as possible just to make it seem like it is part of the boat, and it's pretty obvious that it isn't, but I still kind of like the attempt that I made, and I kind of like that idea of using the roofs to my advantage in ways that they wouldn't usually be used for. So I did use Pinterest as my inspiration for this yacht. I looked up a bunch of them on Pinterest, and then I sort of just kind of went with the flow of what I saw, and I kind of made a combination of the pictures that I liked. So I kind of took aspects from all the pictures that I liked and turned them into one yacht. So I kind of used a combination of pictures from my inspiration and kind of went from there. But there was this main layout that I knew I wanted to kind of do. I didn't really know what the inside was going to look like, but I did follow the exterior. So I tried to make it look as similar as I could. So it's a few levels, and it kind of has these balconies over that one side. And then, of course, it has that front side protruding out like I was saying before. And I knew that I wanted to kind of have these curved roofs, and I know a lot of builders do this, especially when using these yachts, because this is kind of what gives it that whole facade of not being a normal house, being a boat, because boats are more curvy and they're definitely more flowy, and that definitely giving off that vibe is definitely one thing that you can do to help turn something that would normally be a house into something that is not a house. So I think it gave it more of a boat vibe and less of just a normal house vibe. So right now I'm just finishing up the kind of just the layout, the exterior layout that I wanted. And then in a little bit, I am going to move on to the roofs that I use on the underside of the boat that I was talking about a little bit before, and it does take me a while. I actually spend way too much time doing this, guys. But I did try to cut some of it out. I did not want to bore you with the details, but I'm going to get to that soon, and I'll kind of explain my sort of way of thinking when I was doing this, so you kind of get an idea of what I was doing and why I was doing it. So that's going to be right here. Oh, just kidding. I'm not doing it yet. I'm just never going to get to it. Okay, here we are. So now I'm sizing down these doors, trying to get rid of them so you can't see them. And I love how you can do this, basically turns it invisible, and then where I'm raising it up to that spot above the roof, that's not going to be visible anyways, because I'm going to end up adding roofs above that as well. So right now I don't know how to fill in that space in between the roof and the rest of the build. So I'm trying to sort of create a bunch of roofs on top of each other. So what I'm doing is I'm taking one roof, piling it on top, taking another one, piling it on top, basically trying to get them as close together as I can, and fill in that space as best as I can so that I can kind of create that look of the curved area. And unfortunately, it's very hard to do this because you can do it in the opposite direction, like from the top you can make it curved area, but it's hard to make it curved from the bottom up in the opposite way that you would normally do it. So I'm looking over here at sort of decorations that I can use to cover it, and I was gonna go with these pieces over here, but then I just realized it just doesn't, it's not sleek and it doesn't look like it fits. But then once I add some of the roof, what are they called? The roof trimmer things that I have up there. You guys know what I'm talking about. The things that are right there in the menu that I have up there. I end up adding those, and I add the super thick one so that kind of looks like it's kind of fluid throughout the whole piece there. So now I'm just trying to cover up as much area as I can, and there I add them. And I'm just trying to add as many roofs as I can, and I'm curving them in different ways. A really easy way to do this is clicking you click Shift C, my bad, on the roofs, and then you can curve them in special ways. And that's what I just did. And see, now I'm adding the white to that area over there, the roofs underneath. So now it kind of looks like it's kind of protruding out like that, and it curves up. And excuse me. So I lift up some pristine pedestals, of course, because I'm like, it's not white enough, especially once I add the wallpaper. I add the glowing wallpaper from Spa Day to the walls of the yacht. So they're super glowy and bright, and it really doesn't match the roofs here because, you know, it's not super white. It's just kind of like a faded white, off-white kind of color. So I do try to add some windows to cover it up. So I'm going to start adding windows to the side, and then I kind of place a wall there, put a window there, and then delete that wall so that the window, it looks like it's that area that is protruding out and that is curving up away from the front of the yacht looks like it is part of the house because there is a window attached to it, and it's pretty obvious that it isn't, but I still want to kind of give the illusion that it was, or it at least could be. So that's what I'm about to be doing here. And I know that I want to add narrower windows at the bottom, and then I want to add bigger like windows above on the top levels, because that lets in like the most natural light. And in the picture, that the inspiration pictures that I was looking at, the big windows were let in a lot of light, so they were super dark, and they made they were really big. They contrasted a lot from the white of the yacht. So I definitely want to use black windows because in The Sims you can't really get that much of an idea of how much light it's really letting in. So the way to really show their windows is to have black ones. And I decided to use a kind of combination of windows here. I'm trying to figure it out and trying to get it to match with the doors. I end up using a lot of the base game ones, just the plain black ones, but the narrow ones on the bottom, those end up being, I'm pretty sure they're from Discover University, and I use a combination of those and the base game ones. And then at the bottom, you saw there that I put the ones with the horizontal lines on them. Those are from Spa Day, I believe. So I have a combination of windows from different packs, but I'm just trying to make sure the windows match with the doors. And I do end up adding different windows here. I think those are also Discover University, but I want to do a combination because just having the same mold windows throughout the whole thing is just kind of boring. You know, I just wanted to change it up a little bit. So that is what I end up doing. And I could not get rid of all these walls here. I do end up trying to get rid of some more of them by raising up little doors, but I can't get rid of everything. And especially what I used is the clear foundation underneath the boat, so you can see the kind of the weird shadow that it makes there, and I really did not want that to show, so I tried to get rid of it as best as I could by putting rocks here. So I have rocks down here to cover the doors at the bottom, and I have rocks covering sort of the transition from outside of the yacht to the inside kind of underneath it, because you see that little area there, that's the foundation would be covering, but it's not because it's clear. It's very obvious, and it's kind of showing that light blue color there when it really should be just the same color. So I am trying to kind of cover that up as much as I can. And obviously it would not be realistic to have a bunch of rocks right under the front of your yacht, because, you know, if you're going to move your yacht, you cannot move when there are a bunch of rocks in front. But I did not really think that was as important as just kind of making it look super nice, because realistically this yacht would not be moving because it is in The Sims. But if you were playing this in real life, it obviously would not be like that. But, you know, I decided it's not moving. I'm going to make it look as nice as I can in the place that it already is. So that's what I did go for. And even though it's super white and black and kind of monochromatic on the outside, I did really want it to look kind of darker with the wood tones on the inside. So I have a combination of this beautiful jungle adventure wood flooring and the island living wallpaper, so that wood there, and I basically have that kind of color theme go throughout the entire build. So I have the whites and the grays and the blacks, and then I have this kind of dark wood that I go for, and then also in the kitchen I have a little bit of light wood as well, just to complement that and contrast it a little bit. So I'm doing that in a second, but I'm basically have these two bedrooms down here, and they both have en suites, and they're both kind of like twin master bedrooms because they both look exactly the same. And I have those down here, and then on the second level I have basically the whole main area. I have a kitchen and dining and just a little living space and like a little bar area, and also an outdoor seating area. So that's this second level. So that's basically all the main stuff, because it is the biggest floor and it has the most room. So I did decide to go for that here. But on the top level, there are two bedrooms. And again, they're kind of twin bedrooms. They're basically symmetrical with each other, but they both share a bathroom. So they kind of connect to this one bathroom on the end. And that's just because, you know, the layout of the yacht, it's super narrow. And so it's super long, so I have these two bedrooms that are really narrow, and then it extends to kind of this one shared bedroom or bathroom behind it. So it just ended up working out like that, and I think it looked pretty nice and ended up looking okay. So here I am doing the kitchen, and so you can see that these roofs, they sort of cut through, so I'm really trying to get rid of them as much as I can. I don't like how those white lines were showing up, so I did end up having to get rid of them. I thought I would be able to ignore them, especially if I were able to cover them with carpet, but I could not cover them with the rugs, so that was unfortunate. So I just decided to get rid of it. Hopefully that didn't really affect underneath the yacht too much, though. So I am finishing up the kitchen. I'm adding a few clutter items just because I wanted to make it seem like it was lived in. Like, yeah, the yacht is super nice and fancy, but I did want to make it seem like, you know, family would actually be living here. So I did add some cute little items up to the shelves, and even though the kitchen is super small, I want to make it seem realistic because, you know, not everyone has like 2 items in their kitchen. Like, if you're actually gonna have a fully functional kitchen where you cook, you're gonna have, you know, actual need for storage space. So I did have to kind of make that seem a little more realistic than it actually would be. And I kind of placed a sectional here for the living area in front of this nice fireplace and flat screen. And I know I don't have any of the stairs inside. The stairs are kind of on the outside of the build on either side. So again, I have this whole build is basically symmetrical. So I have the stairs coming from both sides, and those lead to the outside. And I was lucky that I was able to put them underneath the roofs, so they don't really take up any more space than they need to, and they just kind of lead into the outside area right near or right out back of this living area here. And that's sort of on the deck area. And I'll place furniture there in a little bit, but you'll be able to see how the stairs lead up to that. And then you go in through the doors to enter through this main living area. And that's how you get into kind of this whole floor with the kitchen and the dining. And I also have 2 side rooms because, again, this is symmetrical. So one side room is an office area and the other one is going to be sort of a bar area. And I just wanted to have these little spaces off to the side because, first of all, the build would have been super big and I wouldn't know what to put there if it was just a giant rectangle. And also, you know, it's super big, so I personally, I would, need my own space sometimes. So I just thought it would be nice to have like a little separate room off to the side for Sims, who don't want to be hanging out in the same entire room because, this isn't the biggest yacht ever. It's not the biggest boat ever. And because it is a boat, it can't be as big as a giant mansion. So I did have to kind of create little spaces for everyone to have of their own because, not everyone's going to be wanting to live together, at least in real life. I guess Sims don't care that much, but realistically, you wouldn't want everyone stuffed together in one tiny spot. So that's why I'm adding the little clutter here to make this office space look lived in. And I'm just going to add some decorations to the walls and just make it look more homey, like family actually lives here, because I think the big difference between like a yacht that would actually be livable and a yacht that isn't is just the kind of things that are in it, because you can have this super fancy yacht, but if it's kind of empty and just super sleek and you don't feel like you can live in it, it's not going to be homey. But you have kind of things in it like that make it look like you would live your everyday lives in there, then I think that makes a really big difference, and it can kind of turn just a boring boat into kind of like a place that you want to live in. And I added that little drink lamp there because I just thought that was super cute and I really wanted that. So that was a cute addition. I don't usually add that to builds, but I thought it kind of fit perfectly, especially if, it's going to be a party boat. So I don't know what you guys can make it what you want to be, but if you did want to make this a party boat, that kind of lamp, that like margarita lamp would kind of fit in perfectly. So just adding a few more clutter items over here, and then I had some decorative things on the wall, just again to make it look more homey, more lived in. And now I'm doing the bathrooms, and they are the symmetrical bathrooms, and these are the ones, the en-suites connected to the bedrooms that I already did. I'm kind of flip-flopping floors here because I think after this I do go up to the top level, but then I move up and down a little bit because I start doing all the outdoor spaces, and there's also a living room off of these two bedrooms here on the main floor. So that's like right when you get onto the boat, that's the main area that you would go into first, that you would see first. So I wanted to make that look kind of cute and have some space for Sims to hang out and kind of have activities to do stuff in, because again, this boat is not that big, so I wanted to make sure that there was definitely plenty of space for Sims. And theoretically this boat could sleep, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 Sims, and has 3 bathrooms. So there are like quite a few Sims that could be here, so you want to make sure there's enough space for them. It's not going to be super crowded, super tight or anything, especially if this house is a luxury yacht. I think I called it luxurious yacht. So I think that especially if this yacht is going to live up to its name, it's got to be, it's got to be pretty nice. So now I'm doing the bedrooms upstairs, and I made them twin beds, so theoretically they would be little kid bedrooms, but they can be whatever you want them to be. And again, I did them exactly identical, just symmetrical with each other. I guess I changed the beds to make them different, but other than that, it's basically exactly the same. I have my little dresser, my lamp, my mirror. I didn't have enough room for that much stuff, so I just kind of put the basics in there because I did want to have that little closet because the downstairs ones had it, and if I usually have one room having a closet, I'll try to fit them into the other ones just for consistency. I know you have to have closets at least in Sims, but in real life, a bedroom would consist of a closet. And over here, I love what I did here because the kind of roof area was blocking a lot of the counters here, so I could place them outside of the room and it wouldn't be noticeable because of the roofs blocking it from the outside. So I was able to like manipulate the shape of the room and the shape of the counters and kind of create this really cool duo like sink kind of combination, so that even the bathroom is able to be symmetrical, so the two people living there could share the toilet and the shower, but they didn't have to share sinks, and I thought that was pretty cool. So here I am doing the outside area, and this is like what I was talking about where the stairs lead up to, and I didn't know exactly what I want to put here because I kind of have everything I need. I had all the living areas, so I just decided to create another area like that. And I guess on boats there are a lot of seating areas just, to kind of hang around or to enjoy the view, so I did put the same sectional combination that I did inside with the Discover University kind of thing. And then I did put some lounge chairs, and I decided to put a hot tub as well, and I put that on the first, I put on the first level because I decided it's the best over there. And then I do change the layout down here a little bit just to make it a little bit more functional and easier to use because I decided, it would be nice if there was a TV down here as well. And I think that's basically it. I guess I add some more seating, and I do add few more little decorations and just cute little things to add that I thought would be on a boat. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope it wasn't too boring, too similar to, all the other yacht videos that, or builds that other simmers have done. But, I just want to give it a try. I thought I'd jump on that trend here. So let me know what you guys think. Oh, I also created a party room up top, of course, because if this was going to be a party boat, there really needs to be a party room up there. Cannot forget that. But other than that, let me know what you guys thought. If you liked it, if you thought there were things that I could improve on, just let me know. I'd love to hear it. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. You can download this on the gallery if you want to. I provide the link for that in the description. But other than that, guys, thank you guys for watching. Oh, and another thing, I cannot finish because I keep saying things. That top was supposed to be the control room, basically, but it is just a desk with a computer, so kind of another office space. Anyways, I'm actually done, guys, now. I'm finally done. I promise. Okay, see you next time, guys. Bye.